So moving on to the Hermit Opportunist, the profile 2-4, the Hermit Opportunist, or the Responder Stabilizer.
I'm just writing down the quantum ones because they sound better.
Okay. All right. So line twos carry what they call line 2 and 5, but they carry what they refer to as a projection field, meaning people are drawn to their energy or drawn to what they need. They project onto them. There's this field that draws people to them. So a hermit, in the sense, it's called a hermit because really the line twos are also types that really just like to be left alone. They would prefer to be left alone. They like to stay in, like, you think of a hermit in the cave, like how they experience life, the line two aspect of them is very much just like tinkering away, doing their own thing. They don't really feel that they have something to offer that other people find value in. Not like they feel worthless. It's not like that. It's like they have natural innate gifts and talents. They also call it like the natural learner, someone who can just pick things up and learn them. They just figure it out on their own, kind of people, without really much input from others. It's just
Mhm.
when they're left alone to their own devices in their own time, they just figure things out. They try it, they figure it out. But they don't necessarily understand how they know what they know. And so it's very hard for the line two to be like, oh, here's what I can show you what to do. They don't do that. Others come to them because they see, they feel, they recognize that qualities from them that they need. And so they come to them and draw them out. And the hermit has to eventually come out. So you can see there's going to be this little push pull between the line two of wanting to hermit and the line four of also needing its network, its people, its
Mhm.
community. And it's not just like they actually like that time spent with people, small doses, but it's
Mhm.
still important to them. So,
Mhm.
because their network is their key to success, and they're here to impact people on that personal level because they're line fours. That's what they're
Mhm.
here being called to do. So, a couple famous 2-4s you might have heard of. A woman named Oprah Winfrey,
Oh, I think I've heard of her.
Simone Biles,
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Nicholas Cage, Johnny Depp, old Jeff Bridges. Love Jeff Bridges.
Oh.
And of course, my favorite, Marianne Williamson. It's a 2-4. And
Mhm.
so, like I said, there's this tension between needing time alone, which they prefer, but also
Mhm.
needing time to be with their people, because it's really their networks that call them out because they recognize that they have something to offer, to help them with. They
Mhm.
they can see what their talents are, even if the hermit can't, right?
Mhm.
So they like to just go through their own process, following their desire, following their own impulses of what they want to do, what they want to learn. And as they do that, it kind of becomes like this energy beacon to the rest of the world, to their network, which eventually calls them out to share. So, I mean, Marianne is a good example of this because she
Mhm.
is an author. She
Mhm.
writes a lot. And she's also a teacher, spiritual teacher, all these things. And it's really through her own musings and her own interest in what she has learned and what she knows that calls people to her. And it's other people who help share her message with the rest
Mhm.
of the world. Same thing with Oprah. These are people that can be very public, but also very private. Like
Mhm.
they can carry around celebrity and do it well, but then, and everybody feels like they know them and they're very excited. I mean, who doesn't love Oprah, right?
I know. She's great.
And everybody feels like Oprah's their best friend and she helps you with, the Super Soul Sunday and all the things she did throughout her life and career. But her inner circle's very small
Mhm.
and she's very private about what she lets people know about her, not
Mhm.
in a distrustful way. It's just she prefers to have her sanctuary, her
Her own
time,
stuff.
her
Yeah.
cave where she
Okay.
can retreat and rejuvenate and renew and
Mhm.
process, and then she comes back out and shares with the world what What is was the book? I think Tanya gave me a book, her Super Soul Sunday book, or Oprah always this I know for sure. She'd start that whole thing. Do you ever hear any of those essays? She'd
Mm-mm.
start this I
I
know
don't
for
think so.
sure, because it was after private contemplation and through her experience that she then could share with others. Same with Marianne, what she knows now, and people share that, and it resonates with them. That's how that works. hmm this profile, then, like I said, it carries this theme of shyness, yet with boldness at the same time. Makes sense, right?
Oh,
hmm
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the challenges here with the 2-4 is they can become a little vulnerable to burnout if they spend too much time out in the world with their network
Mm.
and not enough time hermiting and going through their own process. And I don't really, I mean, not that I think Marianne will ever listen to this. I don't want to feel like I called her out, but when she ran for president, she was very much in the public eye, right?
Mm-hmm.
For that time. And just as important is to have time alone. I know that she's a bit of a night owl. She spent a lot of, I don't know when she slept, honestly, but I know she had a reputation for being someone who was like up in the wee hours of the night. She does her writing, her contemplating, all that stuff long past other people have gone to sleep. But that's the time she needed alone. She had to find that time.
Mm-hmm.
But you could also see being constantly in the public eye, campaigning, that she you could see she was getting a little tired. I'm not trying to disparage her, but once the campaign was over and she did just kind of disappear for a while, and then when I saw her again, she definitely looked more restored, which I guess anybody
Mm-hmm.
would after a campaign trail. Look, we see people that become
Yeah.
president and they're
It's a lot.
gray within a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a hard
Yeah.
job. But anyways, a lot of her message was spread by the people who came in contact with her personally and then shared it with others. And it kind of spread that way. It wasn't so much she always has to go looking for attention, it just finds her.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways.
Yeah. But even like some of the events that you even went to with her that were like very not intense, but like I'm thinking about that one restaurant, or I think it was where it was like very small group that was there, but it was like
Yeah.
such a electrifying moment. You said
Yeah.
like even that kind of it's like a smaller network in that area, but
Oh yeah, that
still
that
very
was a
powerful.
yeah, that was interesting. There was the small Puerto Rican restaurant in
Hmm.
Columbia, South Carolina, where literally we were setting up over people who were like having their dinner. It was a very small room. I mean, when I say small, we're talking like 20 by 30. It was small. Um, but yeah, she had a lot of impact on those people, and a lot of those people went out who'd never heard of her before. She impacted them personally, and they helped get her message out so that her next events, the more she came to South Carolina, the crowds were more and more and more. So yes, absolutely. Good observation.